All right, to the eNCA money desk now. Devan Murugan is standing by. Devan, a potential public sector strike is looming. How are wage negotiations going?
Yes, indeed. It is looming, and of course, it's the last thing the economy needs. We're going to chat in a moment to the Cosatu convener negotiator. Let me take you to this first, though. Data-only network provider Rain has now retracted its media announcement of a plan to merge with Telkom. This after the takeover regulation panel declared the announcement unlawful. You'll remember last week the company said the merger could leverage the fibre network of Telkom's OpenServe and its own 5G expertise, and all of this to accelerate the rollout of 5G nationwide. Well, today, Rain withdrew its press release saying it will submit a formal proposal to Telkom in due course. The government takeover regulation panel accused Rain of flouting regulations by announcing its plans, saying it did so without permission. But mind you, Telkom has been sought after. That story still has a lot of legs in it. All right, back to that main story then. Public sector unions and government remain divided in wage negotiations. If the dispute is not settled, a full-blown public sector strike could be in the offing. Unions want a 6.5% increase, while government has offered 2%. Now, Simon Hlungwani is the convener of Cosatu's joint mandating committee. He joins me now. Simon, thanks very much indeed for holding on in your time. So you had this meeting on Friday between government and unions. How wide apart are you, and are we close to arbitration?
Well, Devin, thank you for having us. And also greetings to your viewers and anyone who follows your station. We had a meeting. I can confirm that we had a meeting last week on the 12th, in which government was to respond in terms of what they would have received from their principals as a revised offer to us from our revised demand, where you have stated clear that we are now at 6.5, excluding the gratuity. The employer came back to us without any improvement or any movement from the 2% that they had offered initially. What made things worse is that the employer then was not moving, but rather seemed more fluid and wanting to talk about many other issues other than the improvement of the offer. So we can simply say we are wide apart. However, we are going to another meeting this Thursday through which we are going to engage further. However, we must confirm that if the employer is not willing to move, it will be indicative that the employer is inviting public servants to go to a strike. It's not what we're planning, but if the employer insists on not improving, having given the public office bearers 3% backdated 2021 in the name of legislatures and many of them, including your ministers and so on, it would mean that they're inviting the public servants to go on strike because they're undermining all of us, although we have made strides in working in the public service during the difficult time of COVID-19.
I want to ask you if you share a similar position with other federations, like the Public Servants Association, also taking a strong stand on this one. What's the sort of same voice, as it may, among unions here?
Well, I can confirm that we do discuss with other federations, and we have a common view that it is undermining if we are to be given less than what the public office bearers have been offered. It is an insult to the public servants because you would backdate or you would think back that in 2020 there was just a zero increase. Given the difficulties that are there in 2021, against the baseline, there was just 1.5 increase. And when you think of this year with the inflation of 5.9, currently it's 7.4, it then means public servants are worse off than they were before. And this is compounded by the fact that there are many other challenges, such as the increases in everything almost. You can start from electricity, petrol, and food items. So the public servants are worse off. The message of government to say they are only taking care of public office bearers, which means they're taking care of themselves in the name of ministers and the legislatures. They don't care about public servants. It means they don't want a public servant or public service that is capable to take care of the public in general. That's why we're saying they will only invite us to a strike. We do not want to strike per se, but they will definitely invite us. By the rate at which they are going, they are definitely inviting public servants to get angry and go to the strike.
I want to come in there, and just as I let you go, I mean, we're hearing that government finances cannot accommodate an increase of more than 3%, right? You've mentioned it there. I mean, how do you argue your way through some of those talks? Because we've also heard that the finance minister is set on what he budgeted for wages. That might be a difficult conversation because the fiscus, as we see it, and as we are told, cannot accommodate for this anymore.
Well, Devin, I must indicate that in our understanding with the other federations that are currently in talks with government and admitted in the PSABC, we have all made it clear that, I mean, even if, and you have said it yourself, that government, you're saying government cannot accommodate more than 3%. But currently government is not even offering that 3% you're talking about. It's offering 2%. And when they are done doing that, they are now offering themselves more than a 3% and backdating it to last year, 2021 April, which means they're looking after their coffers and their families and children. How about public servants that are there? However, I must indicate that we are willing to talk in terms of many other areas where government must then be able to identify loopholes and areas that are actually wasteful expenditure, such as when they are forever bailing out your SOEs that are making no money at all. And we're saying to them, they must also do the head count, because currently what you see in some provinces, you would find that the pestle system is not cleaned up. So we're offering these proposals to say, how can you begin to see how you can salvage money out of what you have and stop having a leaking fiscal systems. But the government, instead of doing that, they're coming back to us with a hardened attitude and not willing to offer what they are saying they can offer. Because if you say from your statement, it means they have said they can offer 3%, but currently they're giving us 2%. Where is the other 1% that they're talking about? So that's what we're saying. If they are willing to work and negotiate, they can come to the table and give us that what they have. But if they are hardened and don't want to move, when we have moved so much from 10% to 6.5%, it simply means they're inviting public servants to go strike.
All right, I'm going to leave it there. Well, thanks very much indeed for your time. Simon Hlungwani there is the convener of Cosatu's Joint Mandating Committee. All right, quick look to see what's been happening on the markets. We are in the green. It's a positive day on the JSE. Remarkable performance by some of the miners, including Thungela Resources, who we saw post very good results yesterday, and the rand still below 17 rand to the US dollar. Let's take a closer look.